I work with some multi-million dollar entrepreneurs on their YouTube channels. And now I would argue that starting a YouTube channel for your business is a great idea, even if nobody watches, which seems so counterintuitive. I know, but just hear me out. So in this video, I'll show you the 5 hidden benefits of starting a YouTube channel for your business. This first one totally shifted the way that I thought about views on YouTube. Because I think in general, our ideas get pretty inflated when we see the other people on YouTube getting tens of thousands of views. And then we post our video and it gets 18 views. And we're like, this was a whole lot of effort for not a whole lot of payoff. But imagine this. Imagine you were getting some people together for a lunch and learn. You put together a presentation, you pay for lunch, and then you invite 18 people to join you. Now imagine all 18 people show up, they listened to your presentation and got a tremendous amount of value from it. Would that feel like a win? I would say yes, that would feel like a great win because when it's not just numbers on a screen, you can see even if we're impacting a small number of people, it's still absolutely worth it to make the content. Now you might be saying, well, that's great, but I still need to pay my bills. Here's the great part about YouTube. You don't need tens of thousands of views to get leads and sales for your business. I've literally seen people close 6-figure contracts while averaging 100 views or less on their videos, which is totally wild to think about. But that's what happens when you solve problems for your target audience. So even with low views, don't underestimate the power of getting in front of your dream clients. One of the hardest parts about doing YouTube is that it takes time to see growth. Probably the most frustrating part is you can be doing the right things and it is still going to take time to see that growth. If you've ever tried to go to the gym on a consistent basis, there's a similar thing that happens. When I finally started being consistent and going to the gym, I was working out literally 5 days a week, every single week for 6 months, and then I started seeing visible progress. Now, sure, I was still learning the best technique, and my diet probably wasn't exactly what it should have been, just because I eat like a child, but I was still very consistent. But here's how YouTube is different than working out. YouTube is a compounding asset year over year, and very likely it will start slow, and there will be very few people watching you. But what happens when you stick with it? Like for one of the channels I run, it took us 450 days to go from 0 to 10,000 subscribers. But after that, it took us 40 days to go from 10,000 to 20,000 subscribers. And that's just with views and subscribers. But imagine a world 3 years from now where you've jumped in, you've started taking YouTube seriously. You've done 2 videos per week, meaning that you have now 300 videos that are doing the hard work of attracting, nurturing, and converting your dream clients. If you do that, there's a very high likelihood that lead flow is not going to be an issue for you anymore. Instead, people are going to be increasingly lining up to work with you, and you get to raise the prices and choose which people that you work with. So the second reason is because your channel is a compounding asset. Reason number 3. And this one is where you're going to see some of the most immediate impact on your business. You see, there's a few functions with YouTube videos. Yes, views is going to be one of them, but I want to give you a few more uses that I think are going to be incredibly valuable for your business. Now, the first one you might not typically see as a YouTube video, but having a video sales letter or a VSL at the top of your sales page is essentially a YouTube video. In fact, I've seen people take that same idea and turn it into a viral VSL, make it into a YouTube video, and that can be super effective for attracting your dream clients and selling them on the way that you do things. And then after people go to your landing page and book a call, here's another use. I've seen it be super effective is if you can use a YouTube video after someone books a call. So they book a call with you, and then you send them this 9-minute YouTube video where you're further selling them on the idea of working with you, and it gives you the chance to overcome the most common objections they might have before the call itself. So now when they get on the call, they are much more likely to buy from you. And then third, you can use these YouTube videos as a nurturing device that you can send directly to your prospects. Say you connected with someone on LinkedIn that would be the perfect fit for your service. The old way of doing it is reaching out in the DMs to see if they would like to hop on a call for a free strategy session. Now, I will say that the more and more that this happens online, people can see from a mile away that you're just trying to sell them something. But instead, what would happen if instead of trying to sell, you were focused on serving them? You create a valuable YouTube video that solves one of their main problems, and then you just send it to them saying, hey, I put together this kind of deep dive training, and I thought of you, and I thought it would add a lot of value to you. So here it is. No call to action, just free value. Now, doing that is how you build trust at scale. And then finally, and this one works really, really well on LinkedIn and Instagram, you can also use your YouTube videos as lead magnets. What do I mean? Well, there's a guy named Oscar Owen that has been crushing it doing it on LinkedIn. So let me show you an example. Okay, so here's an example of this. So Oscar Owen, basically what he's doing is he is talking about in this specific post on how he used AI to create this fake looking YouTube studio. And this is like a 15-second video where he's basically doing an elevator pitch of the video that explains the full process on how he made this fake studio. And it's a very simple LinkedIn post where he's saying, hey, AI replaced my YouTube studio and no one watching can tell the difference. So he's saying, hey, if you want to do it without expensive studio, no props, lighting rigs, not spending extra weekends, all those kind of things, it would normally cost you $5,000 to build a studio that looks like this, but now you can do it in just seconds. So he's done a great job of displaying the value of the video that he's talking about. And then what he does, and this is how to properly frame it as a lead magnet rather than just giving people the link on either Instagram or LinkedIn, he said, hey, do you want it? First, connect with me, then comment the word learn, and I'll send it straight to your DMs. And does a couple different things. So first of all, it gets you in contact with people that are actually interested in your content. If you scroll down here, the crazy part is this has 1,300 comments. So 1,300 people basically raise their hand and say, hey, Oscar, I'm interested in this thing and I'm interested in knowing more. So one, we're just going to send the video to the people that are most likely going to watch it. So we're going to send it to them in the DMs. But then also, he's started conversations with 1,300 new people that could be potential clients. So even if no one was going to organically find his YouTube video, because he made this post on LinkedIn, and you can do the same with Instagram, then he's getting this in front of so many more people, which is super valuable for the business. But then also, it can generate an incredible amount of leads through a simple LinkedIn or Instagram post. Reason number 4. So I want you to imagine this scenario because I think it happens quite a lot. So say you're a business coach in your local area and someone searches business coach near me. Now, I don't know if people are actually going on Google and searching business coach near me, but for this example, please play along. So they're searching that up and then there's 3 results that come up. We've got Chris, we've got Drew, and then we've got you. Now, in this scenario, you haven't adopted the idea of making YouTube content yet, but you do have a website, and so does Chris. So the person is looking at your website and looking at Chris's website. They're like, oh, okay, like this looks decent. They say they can help me grow my business. I wonder how much they cost. Because in their head, the only real thing that makes you different than the competition right now is how much each of you is actually charging. But right before they click off, they see a link to Drew's YouTube channel. And then they start watching. And instantly, they see a video called Why You're Not Getting More Customers Even If You're Spending More on Marketing. And like, well, that's one of my biggest problems right now. And then they see another video called How I Sign Twice as Many Clients Without Paid Ads. And they're like, well, I want twice as many clients. And then they start to go down the rabbit hole and end up watching 10 of Drew's YouTube videos. And like, man, this is such good information. I need to work with him. And just like that, 2 things have immediately left their head. First, the price. That is no longer the main driver. They know that Drew can solve their problems, and they're ready to work with him. And then number 2, sadly, is you. Even if you are better than Drew, the prospect has no way of knowing that, so they're going to go with the person that has already demonstrated their expertise. The 4th reason is because when people are searching you online, having a YouTube channel is a great way to stand out from the competition. Reason 5. Now, one of the reasons people are hesitant to start a YouTube channel is they're like, okay, it is way too saturated. There are too many people on the platform. And I think in some places that is correct. But as a business owner, I think this is where you have a unique advantage. So in the grand world of YouTube itself, I would say that things are increasingly pretty saturated, but specifically just in the entertainment niches. Everyone and their brother wants to be an influencer, so they're starting their YouTube channels. But there's still an absurd amount of opportunity on the business side. So in your industry, you'll probably see that there are very few, if any, people that are taking YouTube seriously. And because of that, you're basically getting in on the ground floor of YouTube. So imagine you were able to go back to 2009 and start a YouTube channel because you knew how big the platform was going to be. Well, in some ways, right now is the opportunity on the business side. The question is, are you going to jump in or are you going to let 5 more years pass and let all of your competition start to grow their audience and build trust while you're stuck chasing clients? If you do want to actually start YouTube churning, it doesn't have to be complicated. Like, you don't need $1,000 worth of gear. You already have everything that you need to build a YouTube channel for your business. Well, I guess you are technically missing one thing: a plan. And that's why I created this video where I show you the kind of YouTube channel that doesn't optimize for views, it's actually optimizing for dollars. Then I also show you how to start building that channel this week.